In the United States, we have seen a lot of shortages. We had a gasoline shortage, we've had some electricity shortage, and now we have a water shortage. And many people might be saying, well, what are we talking about water for? This is a law channel. Well, what's interesting is that the Supreme Court actually deals with a lot of water battles. And there is something happening right now that many people are referring to as the Interstate Water Wars, because it kind of feels like that. We've got all these different states clawing over very limited resources. And the way that this works, practically speaking, is you have rivers that are running all throughout the country, and different states want access to that. So here in Arizona, we talk about the Colorado River a lot. Runs through a big portion of the west coast of the United States, and everybody wants to dip their straw into that river and suck out a little bit of water for their state. But what happens now when that sort of, the Colorado River sort of creates a border between Arizona and California? You've got other states. And so is there any water left for Mexico? Everybody wants to put their straw in and drink some of that water out. And so this is going to be, I think, one of the bigger issues in our lifetime if we don't sort of sort some of this out. So I want to show you what's happening right now, because we just got done with the Arizona heat dome, and it is warm here. We've got wildfires in Arizona. Last year, we had a ton of wildfires in California, probably going to see that again, and elsewhere around the world. And in fact, we're seeing it in many different states. We've got wildfires across California, Arizona, Oregon, Utah, New Mexico. Their blazes are hot and dry conditions. We've got lightning started this one. You can see this here. And so I want to show you what the sort of the drought looks like. Okay, this is over in the Angeles National Forest, and you can see this image here from June 2020. You can see this Morris Reservoir, which is pretty full, right? We can see there's a lot of the distance between the blue and the green is very small. That's kind of a small shoreline there, and we see a lot of blue water. And the tributaries are all pretty full, water's filled up, and this is the Morris Reservoir, right? And we've got dam systems, and a lot of this water provides electricity because it's sort of running through hydroelectric power plants. And so this is very important to the entire ecosystem of this city that lives right here, right? This is very important for this area. Now, when we fast forward to June 2021, things look pretty different, don't they? Okay, same summer, so this isn't like a winter versus a summer thing, but you'll notice the reservoir looks a lot different. And in fact, the entire geography looks different. This looks green over here in 2020, but in 2021, it looks sort of like a brown, barren desert. And you'll also notice that the area where we see the shoreline is very big now. We see a very, very robust shoreline, a lot of sand, because there's no water in this reservoir. The reservoir down here, the one that sort of houses some of the, I believe, some of the electrical facilities that power things, is also empty. And so this is a big problem, because we see this now happening throughout the entire West Coast, and it is also happening in Texas and and elsewhere around the country. And so this is a drought that we're seeing, right? So the United States is going to have to deal with this. And in particular, these southern states are going to really have to deal with this. Now, if you're thinking that this is only for the West Coast, if you're thinking that you're over here in Florida or you're over here on the East Coast, not so fast, okay? Because these are battles that are also taking place. I'm going to show you a battle between Florida and Georgia over one of these rivers. I think this river right here, and they were just not, Florida thought that they were going to get it, and then Georgia kind of swept in under them. And so it can turn into this little interesting battle. This is sort of what it looks like when we start to divide the rivers up. So we've got the Colorado River Basin, its apportionment, and we've got Arizona, that's a big part of the lower basin. So the question is now, how much of this can we siphon off for Arizona? How much does Utah get? How much does Colorado get? What does New Mexico get? How about California? And so we've got these different structures here from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation that divvy up the river. You can only take so much of this. Arizona, you get 2.8 million acre feet per year of that water and the apportionment of that water. And so practically, here's a different example of what it looks like. Arizona, you get 17% of the Colorado River. Colorado, you get 23%. Utah, 11%. Wyoming, 6%. Nevada, 2%. California, 27%. And so these are complicated issues. The courts are having to sort this stuff out. And it's interesting when you actually get into it. These things can get pretty heated, and they can take 20 to 30 years before you work out some of these water rights. So if you're thinking about where to move, right, and you're looking about long-term planning, consider water. Here's sort of a quick review of what one of the structures looks like. And so you can see all the different states have a lot of interest in sort of capturing some of the water. So here we've got on Lake Powell, the Glen Canyon Dam, right? Big dam here. We got the Flaming Gorge Dam. We've got up in Wyoming, they've got a dam. We have Colorado River still running through the Garrison, so Colorado's taking a lot of that. We have the Navajo Dam in New Mexico. The tributaries are sort of running their way down through the Gila River into Phoenix. We've got Parker Dam. So everybody wants to just stick their straw in and siphon a little bit of this off. And so as we can see here, this guy wrote this article, Robert Glennon. It says an interstate water war, they're heating up along with the climate. So, a lot of people are going to say this is a climate change thing. That's fine, well and good. That's beside the point. I just want to show you sort of how this functions. So interstate water wars, these are disputes that are as American as apple pie. Think of these as one state using more of their fair share from a river. Currently, the U.S. Supreme Court has on its docket a case between Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado, and another one between Mississippi and Tennessee. The court has already ruled this term on cases pitting Texas against New Mexico and then Florida against Georgia. So this is kind of one of those areas, like these cases are always kind of going on and they're always kind of lingering around and they take years and years to develop, but there's always these little wars going on between the states. And as we know, the Supreme Court has original jurisdiction when there are complaints between the different states, right? When they're sort of at each other's jurisdictional throats, the Supreme Court gets in here and sort some of this stuff out. So he's saying here, climate stresses are raising the stakes. Rising temperatures require farmers to use more water to grow the same amount. Wildfires are burning hotter, lasting longer. They bake the soil. They reduce the forest's ability to hold the water, and on. As a longtime observer of interstate water negotiations, says I see a basic problem here. In some cases, more water rights exist on paper than as wet water. More water rights exist on paper than as wet water. Even before factoring shortages caused by climate change or anything else, in my view, states should put at least as much effort into reducing water use as they do litigation. There's no guaranteed winners, they say in water lawsuits. So as you're being told to turn your air conditioning, up or down depending on the weather, as you're told to sort of, transition to renewable energy, as we start to, really think about the climate in many different ways, whether you want to or not. Things are changing around us. And so, water usage might be a big issue in the near future. Maybe you don't have any more lawns in Arizona, right? We're in the desert. We've got golf courses all over the place. What happens if we're not allowed to water those? What happens if the Supreme Court comes down and says, no, Arizona, you don't get that much water. California gets more. Utah gets more. What happens if this is your state? Let's take a look at what's going on here. So I want to show you what's happening with Utah. The most controversial proposal comes from one of the nation's fastest growing areas, St. George, Utah. 90,000 residents, lots of golf courses. St. George has a very high consumption rate, very low water prices. The city is proposing to augment its water supply. They want a 140-mile pipeline from Lake Powell. It's going to carry 86,000 acre feet per year. This is how they're calculating these things. So, truth be told, that's not that much water. It would not exceed Utah's unused allocation. But the 6 other Colorado River Basin states have protested as though St. George were asking for their firstborn child. Okay, so a city just wants hey, we need a little bit more water. We've got 6 other states that go, what did you say? Oh, you want another bite? No, sorry. Get in line there, buddy boy. That's our water first. In a joint letter dated September 8th, 2020, the other states implored the Interior Department to refrain from issuing a final environmental review of the pipeline until all 7 states could reach a consensus. The letter explicitly threatened a high probability of multi-year litigation. Utah blinked. Having earlier insisted on expedited review, they decided we're going to delay a decision. Governor Spencer Mike signed a bill creating the Colorado River Authority, gave him $9 million as a legal defense fund. Okay, so the city, the Utah, the governor said, okay, here's $9 million. Here's a legal defense fund. We're going to go throw that towards an army of lawyers to go fight for water rights. How huge could it be? In 1930, Arizona sued California, in an epic battle that did not end until 2006. Look at that. Arizona prevailed, that's right, baby, by finally securing a fixed allocation from the water, apportioned to California, Nevada, and Arizona. So that's right. punks, California punks. All right, so that's good stuff. Water rights litigation is fraught with uncertainty. Just ask Florida, which thought it had a strong case against the Georgia water diversion from the Apalachicola Chattahoochee Flint River Basin. That's a great, oh God, I can't comment on that. Flint River Basin were harming its oyster fishery downstream. Okay, so we've got Florida. Georgia was now diverting water from the Apalachicola Chattahoochee Flint River Basin. That is a hell of a name. The Apalachicola. All right, we're going to move on. The case extended over 20 years before a U.S. Supreme Court ended the final chapter in April 2021. The court used a procedural rule that places the burden on plaintiffs to provide clear and convincing evidence. Florida failed to convince the court and walked away with nothing. Those damn Georgians, they just took all your water, Florida. Supreme Court said, that's it, sorry. Step it up next time. But Florida, I mean, candidly, you have a lot of water. Like, I know it's not the water that you want, but you're like three sides of your state are like surrounded by water. I know that desalination is expensive. I know it's not the same thing. All right, what's going on here? Let's take a look. This was the complaint that was decided back in looks like Arizona versus California. I just want to show you what this looks like because it's just kind of a fun thing to think about. We've got different states duking it out over water. Arizona versus California, October term 2005, a bill of complaint. So Arizona's, hey, we're filing a lawsuit against you, California. And they say it was reported. Final settlement agreements were approved. Let's see. We've got a bunch of attorneys here. January 19th, 1953, the court granted Arizona leave to file a bill of complaint against California and 7 agencies. So the court said, yeah, you can go file a complaint against them. Court referred the case out. We got states of Arizona, Palo Alto, all of these different things. So they're defining these different organizations. We got Arizona, California, Nevada, Palo Verde Irrigation District, Imperial Irrigation District, Coachella Valley Water, blah, blah, blah. All of you people, you are now, by order of the Supreme Court, hereby and severally enjoined, meaning you can't do any of this stuff. Do not interfere with this decree, okay? We're in charge here. From interfering with or purporting to authorize interference with any water controlled by the United States. You are not allowed to divert or authorize any diversion unless it's authorized here. You're not allowed to consume or purport to authorize to consume any of the water, and so on. Right? And then we can see that they're under section, this is 4, state of New Mexico now is getting told right now. So New Mexico is getting told that, hey, you're also enjoined here, New Mexico, from diverting or permitting the diversion of water from the San Simon Creek or any of its tributaries more than 2,900 acres. Don't even think about it. You also better not divert any water from the San Francisco River or its tributaries, okay? You're going to be in big trouble. Following number of acres, so they're just defining the acres for the Glenwood area, the Reserve area, the Apache Creek, Aragon area, Luna area, right? And I don't know New Mexico at all, but you can see kind of how this works. Then we have a breakdown of this. We just go through, we say, okay, well, the decree shall not enjoin the use of underground water on any of the following lands. So they went and they talked to Marvin Arnett and J.C. Odell, and they talked to Hiram Pace and Ray Richardson, and they talked to Harry Day and N.O. Pace, and they said, hey, we're gonna make sure that you're excluded from all of these bickering quarrels between the different states. Interesting stuff. Now, hopefully, doesn't turn into a big problem. I tend to think that humanity tends to solve these problems through technology and transportation and increased efficiencies, and at some point somebody will be able to extract water from the air, and we'll figure something out, certainly. But it is a little bit concerning because there is only so much water to go around. And there are some, I think there's a cartoon or something out there that that sort of demonstrates and shows that by the time the water reaches the Gulf of Mexico or the Baja Peninsula down there, that there's no more water left in the Colorado River. It's all gone. Everybody's straws took it up. California took it, Arizona took it, Nevada took it, everybody else took it. So, water is something that is quite important. We'll see how this continues to unfold. So a little bit of a different story. Thanks for indulging me on that. Before we get out of here, quick reminder, if you happen to know anybody in the state of Arizona who is facing criminal charges, our law office, the R&R Law Group, is very passionate about helping good people facing criminal charges to find safety, clarity, and hope in their cases and in their lives. We would be honored and humbled if you sent a referral our direction. We can help with any of these types of offenses, things like drug charges, traffic violations, felony charges, DUI charges. Anytime anybody's in trouble with the law, we can help, and we would love the opportunity to do so. We offer free case evaluations. Our phone number is 480-787-0394. We'd very much appreciate a referral. If you don't need any help with the law, it's a good thing, but it may be good to have some information about what to do in the event that you do need to deal with the law. And so I want to invite you to check out Law Enforcement Interaction Training. You can see that down here. It's available at gumroad.com/Robert Gruler. Our Existence Systems program is available there as well. If you're an attorney or a legal professional, check out the twice monthly Legal Mastermind Meetup. And that, my friends, is it for me for the show today. Quick reminder to check out our locals platform at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. We've got an event coming up Saturday at 4 p.m. Arizona time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a Zoom monthly meetup. So we're going to get to connect with each other on Saturday, which is going to be a lot of fun. Then we're going to do a Q&A. I'm going to record a video for Q&A on Sunday. And we've got some other just good stuff happening there at Locals. It's a great place to be, watchingthewatchers.locals.com. And every time that you go over there, we're sort of, laying one additional brick in the new informational supply chain so that we can sort of segment ourselves off and be less beholden to the YouTubes and the Googles of the world. So we really appreciate your support over there. And my friends, that is it from me. We're going to be back here same time, same place tomorrow doing the show. We should be back live at that time because I think we're back on schedule. So that is it for me. Everybody have a tremendous evening. Sleep very well. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same place, same time, 4 p.m. Arizona, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And for that one Florida man, everybody else, be well this evening. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.